Hey YouTube, how are you going to lighten your pack to get a more usable pack system? This is a question that a lot of people ask. It's a difficult one because you don't want to be haphazard. You don't want to be reckless. You don't want to put yourself in danger by taking things out you may need. You do need redundancy, but how much do you really need? And that's the question. After you get to know your capabilities, your skill level, and your knowledge, you'll have to figure out what goes in the pack. So when we look at the pack, we have various items, obviously. And the first things that we have to look at are, what do we need and don't need? And when we get closer and closer to figuring this out, we have the answer, which is in our face. Carry less items if you can. That's the first thing. And some people even go further and say, go minimalistic. That's up to you. How much gear and what kind of gear is a personal choice. But the first thing is, look at what you have and really examine, do you need it? And do you ever even use it? The next item, the pack. The pack itself. After you've possibly minimized what is in your pack now, and you've taken things out, maybe you removed maybe 4 or 5 items. Can you now go with a smaller pack, a lighter pack? A lot of packs can be replaced with lighter weight packs. I mean, the average pack out there is probably between 3.5 to 5 pounds. There's definitely many more options that are within a pound or two with no problem at all, at low cost. The next tip would be to carry smaller variations of items that you currently use. So instead of just getting rid of the can opener, if you have to have that item, maybe go with a smaller variation or a keychain version, maybe like a P38 can opener or something. Or just use something, a tool, it's already on a multi-tool. The next item would be to upgrade the materials to a lighter ones. For example, to change over from like a stainless steel pot to a titanium pot. Even though I'm a big fan of steels, especially stainless steel, titanium is very good too. And every time you upgrade, though, typically it's going to be more and more. I've kind of set a level for myself, and I don't get caught up so much into that titanium. But if you're just starting out and you have the funds, and you can skip getting aluminum products and skip the whole stage of going to the stainless steel, because that's the typical, the variations and progression for a lot of people is you start with aluminum because it's the cheapest, you go to stainless steel, and then you eventually end up at titanium. At some point though, and there's a lot of people, even people who have the money to do it, they stick with the stainless steel. There's actually some stainless steel products that are very lightweight, and it doesn't always necessarily mean that it's going to be too heavy, but that's your choice. But there's a lot of options to lighten the load because of the metals that you choose. Okay, and the next item would be to carry a few items dispersed on your person, and or pouches on maybe your belt or cargo pants or whatnot. And so you take some of the load off of your pack, off of your back, and off of your waist, and you disperse it more evenly around your body. And the next way to help lighten the load of your pack would be to use skills instead of gear. Skills and knowledge weigh pretty much nothing. It just takes a little time to know them and to learn up on them and study up on. The next thing is to carry less water and use your a water filter, very small water filters to resupply your water bottles along your hike or camping adventure. Now, maybe a bug-out bag, you'd probably definitely want to bring as much water as you possibly can. But for backpacking and for this conversation, you don't need several gallons of water carrying with you for a day hike. Maybe a liter or 2 at max, and then have a decent filter system that weighs quite considerably less than an extra bottle of water, and that would be a good supplement. The next tip would be to hike in groups. Especially if they're just day hikes and you're not carrying that much gear anyways. Kids can carry a few things too. You can get belt pouches for kids, just those little school backpacks, and let them carry 1 to 2 pounds of gear. It's not going to hurt them. Also, with adults, some adults just may bring a little pack with a couple energy bars, a bottle of water, and maybe a jacket in their pack, and they don't have anything else. Maybe they're minimalist. And, maybe if it's a family, maybe they don't mind maybe carrying an extra pound or 2 of other gear. Maybe it's safety gear. Maybe it's like one person gets to carry the first aid kit and another person gets to carry maybe a multi-tool or a signal device. So you can disperse these items, especially when you're in a group, especially if these items are not paramount to everybody having each one of those items. And then one of the last items here, these are just ideas for how to lighten your pack. There's probably many more, and is to use more multi-purpose items instead of separate items. Just one really good example would be to carry maybe like a small multi-tool instead of trying to carry individual tools. Not really sure why you would do that on a day hike, but if you're on a longer hike, you may feel compelled to bring a lot more tools, but maybe a multi-tool could work for you. Just like canteens, for example. Instead of having like a plastic canteen and then carrying a separate canteen cup, or maybe various different other containers, you might be able to get away with just having one canteen that's made of a certain material like stainless steel or titanium or even aluminum that you could boil water in, and you don't need a separate container because the canteen itself, especially the wide mouth canteens, can not only boil your water but also cook your food and be a container for your water. So you can have multi-purpose items, and that kind of goes hand in hand with even your clothing. All your clothing also has to be very much looked at, and of course, I'm a big advocate of synthetic clothing, especially 100% polyesters and maybe nylon blends, rayon blends, but mostly polyesters. To me, it's one of the best outdoor type of clothing because it wicks away moisture. It's very, very fast drying, and in the combination of your clothes with a decent lightweight pack, a very purposely built pack, you're going to have a lot more enjoyment in the wild and in the woods or wherever you're doing your adventure, because you're going to have a lot less burden to carry, literally, on your back or on your hips. So as always, thanks a lot for all your inputs. If you have anything you want to add to this video, feel free to put it in the comment section below. And lighten that pack. There's no reason to carry all those extra pounds when it's not even necessary. Thanks for watching.